We got the gods in the building, got gods in the building. We do not care about your feelings. We do not care about your feelings. Don't care about you.
With scriptures we shake and bake. Watch around Babylon, make it quick. If they see us, what they can say. The guns I come out to come settle, they make them pay. That's what the Bible say. G is for greatest, O is for overkill.
Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment to the video. Hit that notification bell so y'all can be notified every time I post a video. But real quick, let's talk about V6 versus the V8 Hemi. Just in particular, the 5.7, not the 6.1 or the 6.4 Hemi. It's the regular Hemi. So when you're in the market for buying a Dodge Charger or a Chrysler 300 S, 300C, or whatever trim level it is, if you're in the market for buying a Dodge Charger or a Chrysler 300, I highly advise that you get the V8. Get the V8. I remember when I first bought my Charger, a friend of mine that I go to school with, he said, "Man, bro, why you didn't get the V8? You could have just did some upgrades and you would have been at the same gas mileage that you had with the V6." I was like, damn, I sure could have did that. But in my head was 16 spark plugs, a little bit more maintenance costs on the engine wise, but overall, it's not anything expensive. Oil change, I got to pay for another cord, 7 cords instead of 6 cords on the V6 Charger, which would have been, I paid like $45 to change my oil, $45 to change my oil, synthetic with regular oil filter, whatever. With a V8, you'll be paying, my oil change would be like around 50, 55 bucks for the oil change myself. And for the plugs and stuff, the plugs are the most expensive thing on the car. Or as in maintenance wise, a normal or a regular maintenance schedule wise, because the V6 obviously you only have 6 spark plugs, so you only spending I think I spent like 45 to like 65 bucks on my V6 plugs. The best plugs that you can get, the Iranian plugs, not the OEM plugs, but the OEM as in the OEM rated Iranian plugs, which are the best. It's going to last you the longest. So those plugs cost me like 50, I think like 50. I bought them a long time ago. I bought them when I first got the car. There was nothing wrong with the spark plugs. My bad, there was something wrong with the spark plug. I think after like 7 months of ownership of the car, I had to replace the plug. So like I said, I spent like 50 to 60, I think 50 to 65 bucks on the plugs. So, which it's, to me, that's a lot for plugs, but it's just regular maintenance. Spark plugs are going to last you about 2 years minimum, or a year and a half minimum. Because I just recently placed my plugs on my Dart. Go watch that video. I'm going to put it up here. Go watch that video on me changing my plugs on the Dodge Dart. They did not last long. I have the best plugs that you can get for that car, the Iranian plugs. They should last about a year and a half to 2 years. They only lasted for like a year and like 2-3 months. Because as you see if you watch my, it's a video I have on my maintenance schedule, and I keep my track of my dates and my schedule. So whenever I trade my car in, whatever, I have the schedule for them. Back to the V6 and the V8 difference. So on the V8, you have 16 plugs. So the reason why you have 16 plugs is you're going to get the best gas mileage you're going to get out of that car. Because a regular V8, like a Camaro, I'm not sure, but I never heard of a V8 having 16 plugs. I thought it would only have 8 plugs. So that was the reason. That was one of the main reasons I did not get the V8 Charger, because of the plugs. It's $110 just for the plugs by itself. Just for the 16 plugs. And it's going to take a little bit longer to change them, but it is easier to change those V8 plugs, because on the V6, which when my plugs go out on my V6, I will do a video on that. It is much harder to change those plugs. I won't say hard. It's just, you got to move that whole intake manifold just to get to the other side of the plugs. But on the V8 of the Hemi on the Charger or the Chrysler 300, the plugs are on both sides. So you have the set of plugs on this side, the 8 plugs on this side, and the 8 plugs on this side, and they're right there. You take the cover off the V8, and that's it. And you unscrew the plug wires, and you take the plugs out. That's it. I mean, it's nothing hard. I mean, it takes a minute, literally a minute to change the plugs. But I was thinking about the cost. I wasn't really thinking about how it would benefit me in the long run. But the V6 or the V8. The V8, I would choose the V8 any day now because the car, the Dodge Charger and the Chrysler 300 are too heavy for the V6. It's too heavy. You need that V8. Once again, I say you need that V8. It's like buying all these cars nowadays, they have a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's like buying a Ford F-150 with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. You're putting more strain on your engine when you're pulling something heavy. So let's say you're the type of person who carry a lot of stuff. I'm just using the trucks for example. Let's say you're a person who carry a lot of cargo in the back of the trunk, or not the trunk, in the back of the bed back there, and you also have a trailer back there too, hitched to a whatever it's called, hitched to a little latch or whatever. So you got a trailer plus the thing in the trunk, in the bed of the trunk, in the bed of the truck. So that's a lot of weight just on a turbo 4-cylinder engine. You would definitely need a V8. If you're going to haul stuff, you're going to need a V8 for it. And the truck's already heavy just by itself. I'm not sure how much a truck weighs. Matter of fact, let me get it real quick. I'm just going to use Ford F-150 weight. Because the Charger alone is like 4,000 pounds, 4,100 pounds or something like that. Yes, the V8, yeah, a truck, a 2019 Ford F-150 is 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. Obviously, that's going from the 4,000 pounds would be the 4-cylinder turbo all the way up to the V6 would probably be like 5,000, and the V8 would probably end up being the 5,697 pounds. So let's look up Dodge Charger weight real quick. So a regular V6 would be pretty much 4,000 pounds. It's saying 3,934. I don't know why they just round it off to 4,000 pounds. So it would be 4,000 pounds for a V6 because you only got 3 engine options. And all the engine options are good. They are really good. But, so the least amount of weight is the V6 would be 4,000 pounds. And 4,600 pounds would be the V8. Or just a 6.4 liter that they have. So in the regular 5.7 Hemi will probably be about 4,200 pounds. So for the weight of that car, the V6 is it's really not meant to pull that car and give it the speed and the acceleration that the car has, or that the engine has, because that V6 is very powerful. It's a very powerful V6. Do not get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It's a very powerful V6. Now imagine if they put that V6 and made it into the, I think they did put a Pentastar inside the Chrysler 200. I'm not completely sure. Maybe it was a little different. But what they should have did was put that V6 inside the Dodge Dart so it can get the gas mileage that it's supposed to get. It can have the power. Because to the crank, it's 292 to the crank. It's really going to pull that 292 because the weight of the Dart is like 3,000 pounds. So yeah, the weight of the Dart is like 3,200 pounds, which is still heavy for a fucking compact car. But sorry if I got off subject or off topic or whatever. But I highly recommend that you get, if you're in the market for a Dodge Charger or a Chrysler 300, get a V8 model because that car is too heavy for the V6. It's too heavy. The V6 is still a powerful engine. Do not get me wrong, but you need that Hemi in that car. It's too heavy. And with just a little bit of modifications, you're going to get the same amount of gas mileage with it. Like literally, when you look at the matter of fact, I'm finna look up the estimated, because the estimated miles per gallon is not always right. When you do those mods and all that good stuff, like I was getting way more miles to the gallon with just deleting the resonator muffler, the exhaust tip mufflers, and leaving the regular stock mid muffler there. I was getting much more gas mileage out of just doing that. Just doing that mod. So let's look up. I'm on my other computer, so look up MPG V6 gas mileage. So the basic V6 gas mileage is 19 city, 30 highway, which is not bad at all for a V6 Charger. The car is heavy. It's pulling a load. It's really like you're hauling something that's big as hell. It really is. So you get a 19 city, 30 highway. So it's probably estimated around like 23, 24 miles to the gallon. Honestly, with the mods and stuff, you do the exhaust mods. I remember I took a trip to Waco. I was getting literally, and I mean literally, 45 miles to the gallon with those mods on it. 45 miles to the gallon. That's a lot for a V6 Charger that's pulling that heavy ass car. But obviously, you're not stopping at a red light. Even with a V8, you probably would get something around that gas mileage with modifications added to your vehicle. So let's look up V8 MPG. Ooh, the SRT Hellcat. God damn, that's bad. Just a basic RT 5.7 liter Hemi. You're getting 16 to the city and 25 to the highway, which isn't bad for a V8. Like when you, I remember my brother had a little Grand Marquis town car. You're getting 13 to 12 miles to the gallon, regardless of how good you drive. You're going to get 13. You're going to get 13 to 18 miles a gallon, regardless of what you do with that town car, which is a very lovely car. I plan on going back to some cars like that. So the 5.7 liter Hemi RT is 16 city, 25 highway. It's only 5 miles per gallon off, and the highway mileage is only 5 miles per gallon off, and the city mileage is literally just 3 miles per gallon off. So not a big difference at all for a stock car. Once again, it's not a big difference for a stock car. Now, when you do those modifications, you put you resonator delete, you delete the exhaust tip mufflers, keep the stock muffler, or change it to a Flowmaster or MagnaFlow. You're going to get more horsepower. You're going to get better acceleration. You're going to get more gas mileage, whether you like it or not. You will see gains. You will get better gas mileage out of your vehicle when doing those mods. Also, you don't have to change the intake. It honestly doesn't matter. It's an old video I did when I first started my YouTube channel. You cut the intake box at the bottom, and I leave the little basic little intake tube at the bottom. So you have your intake box right here. You cut the bottom of it. You know how it has the little hole, like it's sucking through a straw. So you cut that, and it has a whole opening like you would have on a regular K&N filter, or what is that shit called? Y'all know what I'm talking about, the basic little cone filter or whatever. It's the same thing as that. So I cut my intake box, and it breathes in the air the same way. So, I forgot my point was, but that's what I plan on doing. I don't go and buy different other intakes. I cut the bottom of it, and I drop a K&N filter. Honestly, I don't even do K&N filters anymore. I planned on getting the K&N filter for my V6, but I never did. It's kind of pointless. You only get a little bit of, maybe you might get a gain. But back to the topic once again. So the V6 and the V8, there's really it's a small difference, but with modifications, you're going to probably get the same as a V6, if not just a little bit more. Same with the V6, you're going to get, with modifications, you're going to get more gas mileage out of your vehicle. Obviously, if you do the tune, not the tune, if you do the Flowmaster with the resident delete, with an intake, different intake, or with the same intake. So me personally, I would choose the V8 any day at this point. The car is too heavy. The main point of this is the car is too heavy for the V6. It's too heavy for the V6. So be on the lookout. I plan on trading my vehicle in. I think I said that in my last video. I have 141K miles on my car. I haven't really ran through any maintenance. Like I say, the only thing I have changed on the car is the radiator, which I changed when I first got the car. And the only thing I've been changing now is the sensors, the tire TPMS sensors. That's it. That's all I've changed so far on the car. Other than that, regular oil changes, spark plug change. The car is really good. Like, I know Scotty Kilmer always says something about don't buy a Chrysler, blah, 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 this and that. Yeah, I mean, it's only your preference. Like, if you know how to work on cars, get it, because I just call myself a mechanic. I'm a mechanic, so I know how to deal with cars. I know how to make them last long. So, granted, the transmission is not the best. The transmission on that car is not the best. Let's give it up. The engine is the best thing that you're going to get. Dodge makes the best engines, as of what I know now. So, I would definitely, if you're in the market for a V6 or for a Charger or a Chrysler 300, get the V8 version. It's going to be worth it. It is going to be worth it. And obviously, when you get the regular V8, it's going to come standard with the 8.4 inch touchscreen. I think it's bigger now than the other ones, but it's going to come standard with the 8.4 inch touchscreen. And I think it should come with like a little regular Boss Audio or Alpine sound system, which I recommend upgrading because aftermarket speakers are always better. But yeah, so this is one of the reasons why to get the V8. The weight of the car, the V6 is too underpowered for the weight of the vehicle. Now, if that Pentastar was in a different car, that car would fucking move. Like, that V6 is very powerful. You don't even understand. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video on that, man. I just wanted to make a video on that. But yeah, I do plan on trading my V6 in the next few months. I want to wait till next year to trade it in because obviously new models are coming out. I'm not sure if they're changing up the I'm not sure if they're changing up the Charger model. I know they're talking about wide body. The Chrysler 300 is a wide body Charger. I mean, I don't know. People don't see it. I see it. I made a video on it. If y'all ain't watched the video, watch the video on the 300. The Chrysler 300 is a wide body Charger. It is. It is. I mean, if you see the fenders on it, it's much wider than the Charger. I mean, obviously, the Charger really doesn't have wide fenders. It's just a regular fender that you would see on an SUV or something like that. So, the Chrysler 300 is a wide body Charger. It is. I mean, just look at it. It's a wide body Charger. So, I don't know why people are, wide body Charger 2020, a wide body Charger's coming. It's on the 300, the Chrysler 300. I mean, it's just there. I mean, people just don't see it. I know people want the looks of the Charger. Yes, the Charger does look better. But you also can do modifications to make the Chrysler 300 look better. Because I've seen some 300 that looks better than my Dodge Charger. I mean, it is what it is. You got to face the facts at sometimes. But, yeah, look out for, hopefully, like, in a few months, I'll be trading it in. If not, I'll be trading in next year when they make new models of the Dodge Charger and the Chrysler 300. Or they're going to stop making the Chrysler 300. But, yeah. Be on the lookout for that. I do plan on getting a V8 because I plan on traveling a little bit more. So I need a car with low mileage because I know up in mileage you start to have more maintenance. So why would I be paying on a car that has that many miles? My payments aren't really bad at all. My payments are less than $200 a month for my V6. But I don't want to make maintenance. I don't want to keep paying on the car and also pay the maintenance. Work on the maintenance problems with it. I want to have a car that just keep changing the oil, the spark plug, basic stuff like that. Which I have. I mean, I put 38,000 miles on the car, and no problems, just radiator, and that's it. No other problems with it. Nothing wrong with the transmission. Nothing wrong with the engine. Engine shifts good. I use certain stuff to keep the engine going. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Hit that notification bell. So y'all can be notified every time I post a video. Suppose the size of the mountain.
Pants a little saggy, still a little aggy. Risking 5 songs, feeling slow baggy. The red lights feeling like a million months. Pistol on my lap, cause junkies make me jump. Silence in the Benz, vintage 94. Lights are still